In this tutorial, we're going to cover the concept of Lightroom, which is based on the concept of a catalog system. What this means is that every time we import pictures into Lightroom, we're not physically importing pictures, but we're importing information about the pictures in lightweight metadata. To explain this further, Lightroom is not a software that ends up becoming heavy. You don't get big file sizes, computer doesn't crash because of it, and so forth. And that's because we are not importing the real physical picture into Lightroom, but only information about the image in lightweight metadata. The real physical image is either on our flash card or on our hard drive. So in my case, I have these images stored in the hard drive. Let me show you where. I mentioned in an earlier tutorial that we have to go ahead and create a folder, and the natural thing to do would be to call that folder your first name and then Lightroom Photos. Into that folder, we create subfolders that contain the physical pictures. So every time I want to import images into Lightroom, they don't end up residing in the Lightroom software. They reside on my hard drive within the big main umbrella folder called My Name Lightroom Photos. So these are the real physical images. Now, having said that, let me show you where the lightweight metadata is. Let's say I select this image, and as I mentioned earlier, this image is not physically inside of Lightroom. We see it, but it virtually exists in Lightroom. It's not physically in Lightroom. What exists in Lightroom is the information about the image in lightweight metadata. To see that information, I just go on the right panel of the library module, and then I click on metadata, and under that I see the information about this particular image. It gives me the image name, in which folder the image is found within my main umbrella folder. It gives me the time that the image was captured, the exact date, the dimensions of the image, if it was cropped, the exposure that was used, the focal length, and so forth. So the camera was the Canon PowerShot SD600 and so forth. So all this information exists in Lightroom, but not the physical image itself. Remember that we're working now on the library module. We're not on the develop module, just so that I explain to you the concept of the catalog system. Following this concept, I want to also add that whenever we choose to delete an image or move an image to a different folder, we should never do that within the hard drive, but inside of Lightroom. Let me show you what happens if I move an image from the hard drive. This image, for example, I want to go to metadata and look at its information to find out where it resides. It's called 3286.jpg and it's in folder Malibu Flowers. I can read right here. And let me go ahead and find that folder within my main umbrella folder that I created myself. And I called again Maral Lightroom Photos. And that folder is right here. Again, there's the date, and then there's the location, which is Malibu in California, and then the topic is flowers. So 3286 is this very image right here. Let's say one day I change my mind. I would like this image to be in another folder, so I just take it and drag it out and put it somewhere else. Let me see what happens inside of Lightroom. Immediately you would see this question mark on the top right corner of the image. This question mark means that Lightroom cannot find, it cannot locate the image, and things are going to go crazy. So we should never ever move an image or delete an image from the hard drive, but do so within Lightroom. So let me go ahead and fix my mistake. I came back to my folder right here in my hard drive, and I'm going to hit Command Z, and that image went back into Malibu Flowers folder 3286. Now I'm hoping that the question mark it just disappeared. I hope you managed to see it, but it was here like a split of a second ago and it disappeared because Lightroom was able to locate the image. So never ever change image locations or delete images within the hard drive folder, but do so inside of Lightroom.